I'm making a favourite recipe of mine, and I'm a lucky cook, a chocolate roulade, and I want you to make it as your special pudding at Christmas time. You can even make it into a log if you want to, but it is top favourite. And I thought if I did it from beginning to end, you can watch it and you make it when you go home. I've got 6 eggs here, and I'm going to separate them into, first of all, making a meringue. And Tony's hanging over me here, and he's the one that pinches it all, and don't want to lose those eggs. So I've got the sugar here. I'm not giving you the measurements because you all have the book that you've been given with everybody's recipes in. So when you go home, you just open it up and follow it. So to start with, I'm putting the yolks in one and the whites in another. Where did you go then? There we are. You can't take him anywhere. That's it, separate it out. And I'm being very careful not to get any of the yolk in with the white. So I shall start off by making a nice fluffy whisked meringue, and then I shall whisk the egg yolks and the sugar and just put it all together. I put a bit of cocoa in mine because I find that it stabilises it and gives a better result than all chocolate. So I've got 6 eggs here, 4 going in. And I know that I should keep the shells, crush them and put them round my hostas. So I'm told. I did it. None in there. So they're all separated out. That's it. So I'm then going to whisk the egg whites until it looks like cloud. And I've got a magnificent orange whisk here. I haven't used this one before, but it's pretty basic and it does what it says. I'll have it absolutely on maximum. Hold it straight to begin with. It's really powerful and it's going to get to full volume in no time. You need to do it a little less than you would for meringues. You see it's coming up beautifully. And I'm keeping it upright in the bowl, otherwise it would go all over Tony. If he doesn't behave himself, I shall tilt it. Makes good hair gel. So there it is in full volume. And then I'm moving that, it's all logical, into this bowl, don't need to wash it up. So in here I've got the egg yolks and caster sugar, full volume. That's what I'm making, Tony. Can you show them? That's what I'm going to make, and it's just the best pud you could possibly have. Now that is a ribbon, you can just see it. If I put M, it just sinks back in there. I'm then going to add the melted chocolate to that, and I've melted that over hot water, and remember that chocolate melts in a child's pocket. If you get it too hot, that's the wet from the bottom of the bowl, if you get it too hot it'll go solid. That's just perfect. And it is just the sort of chocolate that you would buy on the corner shop. It's not the expensive 70%. So I'm going to just pour that in. In it goes. but don't get it too hot. That's it, all going in. You are good to be like mice. It means that when you go home, you'll be able to make this. So I'm just going to mix that in. Then I'm going to add the cocoa, and I'm adding, I want to sieve the cocoa because sometimes if it's been on the larder shelf, it does get a little bit, with a few lumps. Two tablespoons, and just push that through like that. Now Annabelle, you made this for a birthday party. What did you do about it?
I made 3. I rolled it up longer than you do it, so it was a bit thinner. And I made 3 on a big plank and served it as a big birthday cake. With,
what, looking like a long sausage on a plank?
A flat sausage, yes.
Then you covered
Cumberland.
Did you cover the wood with foil?
No, I left it au naturel, I think.
Where'd you get a bit of wood from then?
Oh, I'm married to a builder.
That's true. I remember Annabelle was in the kitchen, and we had some people came, and I was telling her how to make tea, and she said, "Mum, do I know how to make tea? I'm married to a builder." So I wouldn't correct her again. So that's just running through the sieve, just in case there's any lumps there, which I don't think there will be. Not now I've given it a good pummel. That's it, just mix that in for a moment. That's it, so we've got the cocoa in, we've got the chocolate in, and now I'm going to take that out and add the sugar, add the egg white. So I'm going to just beat those on the side. Oh, well done, Annabelle. Thank you. And then at this stage, if you beat this in to slacken it down. So I'm going to take some of that, like that, in there and just make it a bit more runny. And to make it, if you want to make it into a log, you just cut a slice off at an angle, turn it round and put a robin on the top, and you've got a chocolate log. But this is a pudding that I make every Christmas, and I make it any time from now and put it in the freezer. And it freezes like a dream. So you see how that's slackened down. Also, I want to beat it until there are no sort of white lumps. That's it. And then fold in the rest, which will just slip out of the bowl in one piece. I love cooking with children, mainly my grandchildren, and they cook, of course, with Annabelle, but of course it's lovely when they come to stay, and I've given them each a frying pan, a little inexpensive, I think it cost £12, or was it 13, and I gave them each a frying pan, taught them how to make an omelette. And how old are they now, Annabelle?
9, 7, 3.
Yeah, well, Atalanta, the little one, doesn't, but the boys will make themselves their tea of an omelette, and you think that I say, what do you want in it? And Louis goes to the fridge and he puts things like, or freezer, he said, I'll have a few frozen peas. And you don't put, and I think, you don't say that, why not have frozen peas in omelette? Bits of ham, what else does he put in, Annabelle?
Spinach, cheese, salad dressing. Seriously.
So anything to get them cooking. But the one bit of advice that I always say to the young, and I can see there, lots out on a treat because it's half term. First of all, read the recipe through 2 or 3 times and choose one that you like, and then weigh accurately. But with cakes, you can't just judge it. You may hear that people say, oh, well, my gran used to make cakes and she never weighed anything. But that Gran had a cup without a handle, and she put 2 of that in, and the same spoonfuls, and didn't have a repertoire of cakes that we have now. And so I think it's important to weigh to get the same result every time. That's well mixed in. Then I've taken a Swiss roll tin and I've greased the tin really well and then line it with non-stick paper. If you don't grease it, that paper slips about. Then pour that in like that, and it'll take its own level, and then into the oven and bake it. So it's a simple cake if you follow these few rules, and it's written in great detail in your brochure that you've got, that you were given when you came, so there's no excuse not to make it. So push that into the corners, then that goes into the oven, and I have made one I made earlier, which I made at 10 o'clock this morning. So that, and it will sink slightly when it comes out. It rises and then sinks, but there it is, absolutely perfect. And I've got a piece of, that's it. I'm going to tip it out onto that paper, and first of all put some icing sugar on there. That's it. And then tip that over. And it's bound to come out because it's got paper around the outside. Like that. And if it doesn't come out, give it a pull. There we are. And then just peel the paper off. And it will come off and roll it up. It's very, very easy. Have any of you had real success with a roulade? No, a couple of people at the back. Ah, well done. A few hands are going up. But everybody else has been amazed by it. Really not. There's a little person down in the front who definitely says she's going to make it. Have you ever met her? There's a few other people too. But what gives me pleasure on the bake-off is when a few days after the bake-off, I put the computer on in the morning, and I get a message from a young person who has made the and you've seen photographs that Dad was taking, or Mum, them standing by brandy snaps. So proud, and you know they've made it because they're not quite perfect. You put one side, put the other, and a very proud Mum and Dad in the back, or whatever. And that gives me such pleasure to think that the bake-off has inspired so many of you to enjoy baking. And it's inexpensive to bake. How much does it cost to go to a theme park or out to the cinema? And you can do baking on a wet day. There's nothing nicer than that. And I've just taken a bit off in the corner, but we all do that. You see what I've done? Put it back, nobody's going to know. Can I tell you a story about that, putting it back? I went on the evening show of Graham Norton. And they rang the day before and they said, could you bring a cake in? And so anyway, that morning, I set to and made a chocolate cake. I filled it with chocolate ganache. I put chocolate ganache all over it. And I thought, as it was the New Year programme, I would write Happy New Year. So I went to the fridge to get the some icing that I had left from the day before. And as I went, Poppy, Spaniel, jumped up and took a chunk like that out of my cake. It was fully iced. And I thought, do I make another one? It's now 2 o'clock and I'm being picked up at 3:30 because of rehearsal. I thought, no, I'll fill it with chocolate ganache. And I didn't tell a soul. So I got whipped cream here, and as it's Christmas, a little bit of Bailey's, 2 tablespoons exactly. Mix that in. Oh. No. So just put that onto the top like that. And about, oh, I've got a spatula there. That's it. Spread that all over the top. Just evenly. And you can imagine that is really absolutely delicious. Nothing could be better. And providing you've weighed everything evenly, you can't go wrong. That's it. Right to the edges. And you can imagine when Annabelle, when she did it for her party, you rolled it the other way, did you?
I did, Mum.
And then put 3 in a line and squashed them up and put decorations. People wouldn't know that it wasn't one long one, and they think, how did you put that in the oven? I do that with a meringue. I did it on my programme, Mary Berry Cooks, making a big meringue and putting 3 together on a big board. That was good. That's it. Then, before you roll it up, and remember I've got a real difficulty here because I broke it, just cut through there and break the first bit as you roll it. So, let the paper do the work, I don't want to get my hands dirty. Tip that up. That's it. We did a Swiss roll as the master class, as the technical this year, and it is something, actually it wasn't, it was a signature. And people did the most amazing Swiss rolls. I've broken it, I've started the pinwheel, okay? Push it, and it will crack all the way along, and that's what it's supposed to do. See how I'm not getting my hands dirty? It's doing the work. Push, push, push. That's it. And we should end up with a lovely shaped Swiss roll. Now, if I were putting that in the freezer for Christmas, that's what I would do. But I'm not, I'm serving it now. So there it is. Put it onto the board like that. Give it a push. Nice, Annabelle. Lovely. Oh, very posh knives. Careful with those. Shall I cut it for you, just so you can see? How many would this serve? How much do you think? 8. Now, and there it is. Now, what I wanted to show you, remember how I said break it? Isn't that important to get that spiral? So you break it to begin with and then roll it. So there you have it, chocolate roulade, and you're all to make it.